Hi, it's Lisa Nesneski here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to silence your racing mind in 12 minutes so you can return to deep sleep without mental rehearsals of tomorrow's presentations. This method is effective because I've used it with hundreds of C-suite executives who were trapped in that same 3 a.m. work spiral that you're experiencing right now. As a certified mindfulness meditation teacher, shamanic energy healer, and the author of 7 Mindful Questions, I've discovered that traditional meditation doesn't work for executive minds, but this targeted approach does. Today we'll cover 3 pillars. Number 1, the hidden triggers that hijack your sleep. Number 2, why your high achiever brain resists traditional relaxation methods, and my proprietary 12-minute technique that works specifically for the executive mind. At the end of this presentation, you'll get access to the Executive Mind Reset Protocol that complements this training with exact step-by-step process that I use with my private clients. So let's jump into it. Pillar number 1, the 3 hidden 3 a.m. triggers. The first thing you need to understand is that your 3 a.m. wake up is not random. There are specific triggers that are hijacking your sleep, and once you identify yours, you can intercept it before it spirals. The number one trigger I see with executives is what I call tomorrow's performance anxiety. Your mind wakes up because it's afraid that you're not prepared enough for tomorrow's big presentation, or that crucial client meeting, or a difficult conversation. In the first section of the Executive Mind Reset Protocol, these are the exact presentation fears that wake up 80% of my clients. Your brain is essentially doing dress rehearsals at 3 a.m. because it doesn't trust that you'll perform well without this mental practice. Does that sound familiar? The second trigger is what I call unfinished business loops. These are tasks or decisions that feel incomplete in your mind. Maybe it's an email that you didn't send, or the budget numbers that you need to review, or a team conflict that you haven't addressed. Your executive brain is wired to close loops, and that's when something feels unfinished, your brain keeps cycling through it, trying to find a resolution. And, at 3 a.m., this just feels like mental torture because you can't do anything about it. And the third trigger is control anticipation. As a high achiever, you've learned that this mental rehearsal gives you a sense of control. So your mind wakes up to practice scenarios, what you'll say in tomorrow's meeting, how you'll handle that difficult conversation, or questions the board might ask. Your brain thinks it's helping you, but it's actually stealing your rest. Pillar number 2, why your executive brain rejects traditional relaxation and what to do about it. Now, here's why meditation apps and traditional relaxation techniques fail executives every time. Your brain has been conditioned for constant vigilance. As a high performer, for many years, or maybe even decades, you've rewarded your mind for always being on. Every time your racing thoughts help you catch a mistake, or anticipate a problem, or prepare for a challenge, you reinforce this pattern. In the Executive Mind Reset Protocol, you'll see that your brain has literally been trained to equate mental activity with success. So when someone tells you to just relax, so annoying, or clear your mind, your brain rebels because it thinks you're asking it to stop doing its job. Second, you've been programmed to see relaxation as unproductive time. When you sit still for even 5 minutes, the voice in your head starts listing everything that you should be doing. You feel guilty taking that breather because it feels selfish, or worse yet, lazy. The guilt actually creates more stress, not less. Your nervous system can't relax when your mind is beating you up for trying to relax. It's a vicious cycle that keeps you trapped. And here's the big one. You're secretly afraid that if you quiet your mind, you'll lose your competitive edge. You worry that mental peace equals complacency, that if you stop that constant mental churn, you'll miss something important or you'll become less sharp. This fear runs so deep that your mind would rather keep you exhausted than risk you becoming soft. But here's what I've discovered in working with hundreds of executives. Mental quiet actually enhances performance. You make better decisions. You think more clearly. You respond instead of react. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. This is a famous quote from Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl is a psychiatrist who was in Auschwitz, and he had so many insights in his book. But one of these was, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our happiness. So profound. Now, let's move into pillar number 3, the 12-minute executive mind silencing technique. Now, let me show you the exact technique that works for executive brains. This isn't meditation, it's strategic mental management. Step 1 is the executive awareness check, and it's question 1 from 7 mindful questions. What am I doing right now? So when you wake up at 3 a.m., your first instinct is to begin to engage with those thoughts. Instead, you're going to ask yourself my first mindful question: what am I doing right now? The answer's simple. I'm lying in bed trying to sleep. This isn't philosophical. This is practical awareness. And awareness is the first important step towards mindfulness. You're teaching your brain to recognize reality versus that mental movie that it's playing. The exact timing chart for this protocol is in section 3 of the Executive Mind Protocol. And you'll spend less than 2 minutes on this step, asking yourself, what am I doing right now? Then we move quickly into the importance reframe. Why am I doing this, and why do I care about it? Next, you're going to challenge the urgency by asking questions 2 and 3. Why am I thinking about this right now? And why do I care about solving this at 3 a.m.? Your mind will try to convince you that this is urgent, but you're going to get strategic about it. Is there literally anything you can do about tomorrow's presentation right now? Can you send that email at 3 a.m.? I highly recommend you don't. But the answer is almost always no. You're teaching your brain, you're actually reteaching your brain that those 3 a.m. thoughts are rarely actually urgent. They just feel urgent. Moving on to the strategic pause. Question 4 of the 7 mindful questions is, what else should I be doing? So when you're finally using question 4, what else should I be doing? The question is answered by sleeping. I'm sleeping right now. And then you take a strategic pause with executive specific breathing. This is not hippie breathing. This is performance breathing. This is the exact sequence that is shown in your protocol. You're going to inhale through your nose for a count of 4. You're going to hold for a count of 4, and then exhale longer to a count of 6 through your mouth. Now, this pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system. And this is the same system athletes used for peak performance recovery. So let's walk through a real world example. Let's say you wake up at 3 a.m. worried about tomorrow's board presentation. Step 1, you ask yourself, what am I doing right now? And the answer is, I'm lying in bed, not presenting to the board. Then step 2, why am I rehearsing this now? And why do I care about solving this at 3 a.m.? And the answer is, I can't actually practice my presentation in bed. This mental rehearsal isn't helping. Now, what should I be doing instead? And the answer is sleeping so that I'm sharp tomorrow. Then you use the breathing pattern. Inhale to a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and exhale to a count of 6 for 6 to 8 minutes. And oftentimes, you won't even need that 6 to 8 minutes. You'll be conked out relatively quickly because the breathing brings on that parasympathetic nervous system of resting your body. Your executive mind reset protocol has this exact timing and the scripts for each step. I hope you found this video helpful. If you need more help executing this technique, or if you want a transcript of today's training with the executive mind reset protocol I showed you throughout this session, just click below to get it. This protocol includes the complete step-by-step process, the timing charts, and the exact scripts that I use with my private coaching clients who invest $15,000 to work with me personally. The 7 mindful questions are meant to be an eyes open technique. So you can use this same technique anytime, in any place. I'm passionate about the transformation the 7 mindful questions bring. So this technique is yours at no charge. See you next time.